Welcome to the Locks and Dogs NFL Picks Podcast Week 8 edition. We've got the NFL locks and a few dogs that you need to hear, and the podcast starts right now. Mark, how are you?
I'm not doing great.
Okay, I'm not doing great either. This is Matt, by the way, with Mark as always. Mark, what's the challenge?
Week 7 wasn't a good week.
No,
it's a burn the tape.
Yeah, it's
burn the film.
Every week you learn something, and this week we learned how to lose. This week we're going to learn how to win, or just do the opposite of what we did last week. Yeah, I got off to a good start with the Jags on Thursday night. I on the money line plus the 3. Really proud of that pick. Trevor Lawrence did play. Just followed the game script, I thought, and then from there on it was downhill. I'm not seeing a whole lot of winners in the sheet this week. I believe I did lock up the Eagles, and that did cover.
Yeah, that one I got a bit too cute on. I think Eagles at home with the Kelly green jerseys. I shouldn't have.
Non-conference road spot for Miami. I thought to me it was the obvious play. We did cover in the Chiefs, the 5.5. That was one of the more hotly debated topics in the Gamblosphere. Last week was Chiefs 5.5. That apparently Patrick Mahomes didn't cover that often against Justin Herbert. Well, guess what? He covered this week. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot to brag about. A lot of misses. The Bucs went out of their way to lose that game for us. The Lions, I figured that defense and that offense would travel better. I didn't. They just ran. I mean, Lamar Jackson was he's really taken to the Todd Monken offense because he was winging it all over the place.
Yeah.
He knew where he wanted to put the ball. He's putting it there. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure to bother him. The Lions just could not solve that team at all. Commanders went out of their way to lose to the Giants. Bills lost outright. Did not even close to covering. Lost outright. Raiders. You were on the Bears. That was one of your locks, was it not?
No, that was an unofficial pick.
The Bears money line?
Yes.
I do remember this now. Okay. Okay. It was Browns -2. I took it on the money line just because I felt they were going to win. I wasn't sure if they were going to cover, so I did a little money line, wimpy bet there with the minus. I think it was I got it like -135, which I was happy to get. But so I did make money on that game, but they did not cover. Rams didn't cover. 49ers. Again, I thought that defense and that offense would travel better. Yeah, there were just a lot of weird calls, weird plays in that game. That kind of tilted it for the Vikings. I guess all the bad luck we saw early in the season for the Vikings is now starting to even out a little bit, I guess. So Vikings won outright. Yeah, a lot of big, if you were on the money line, on any of the dogs last week, hooray.
My Broncos, the pick that you thought I was getting too cute with, it was.
You're right.
There weren't many picks that hit on week 7, but that was one of them. But as long as I'm still breathing, there's still another week.
Yes, and we got to look forward, not backward. Just to put a cap on week 7. There's a couple of things just to cover before we roll into the week 8 picks. Number 1, what's going on with Deshaun Watson? Watching Browns and Colts on one of the massive screens, and I've never seen a quarterback just like. I don't know if he was faking a concussion, but it kind of looked like it. He threw a pass, got hit, and then just kind of like turtled up and was on the sidelines watching P.J. Walker and pumping his fist for the rest of the game.
Is Deshaun Watson done in the NFL? So today that they're saying that he still has a problem with his shoulder, and I saw...
They cleared him from the shoulder a week ago.
I saw a clip of his brief performance last week where it's him just throwing the ball into the dirt. On every possession. Now, the rumor is that they could possibly put him on IR for the next 4 weeks because of the shoulder. He's saying that it's too painful to throw.
It's too painful to watch him throw is more like it. I don't know. I don't think he's. I mean, it takes a lot for an NFL player to be, a quarterback in particular, to be like done.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe his shoulder's tight. He just needs a rub down.
Does he play again for the Browns this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I say he does. Yeah, I think he does. Although I don't really, I think they might be a better team with P.J. Walker. Based on what I've seen, they beat the 49ers with P.J. Walker, and they beat the Colts with P.J. Walker. And those are both two really good defenses only one of those games is on the road. So, all right. Next on our list. Tyson Bagent. Secret Bagent 17. Mark, is he the answer at quarterback for the Bears?
Yes, he is.
Long term.
So
he's going to be starting for the next, 10 years?
He should be.
Okay.
The thing about Tyson Bagent is when you compare him to Justin Fields is that considering it's just one game, he looked more comfortable in the pocket. He made better decisions.
Okay. Does it matter? Does it matter if this was against the Raiders?
No, it doesn't.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I mean, the biggest knock against Justin Fields is that he can't read defenses. He looks uncomfortable. He isn't throwing the ball. He isn't making quick decisions when he needs to be making them. And it seems like Bagent looks more comfortable and he's making
Secret Bagent
is making better decisions in the pocket.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm interested to see what he does this week against the Chargers. If he wins against the Chargers...
You're buying a jersey the next day.
Yes.
Okay, I liked what I saw. I think my fear is that they think they can win with him, and they're going to try to make him the quarterback permanent. That's my biggest fear. It's a nice story. I think he's... we'll see. He made the plays he needed to make. I didn't see any wow plays. I didn't see anything that said this guy is, the next great Bears quarterback. But who would you consider the last great Bears quarterback? Cuddy?
Well, yeah.
I guess statistically, I think you have to say Cuddy.
Yeah.
But still, my fear is that they're going to think they can win with him, long term, and then they're not going to go after I don't know that Caleb Williams is the answer. I don't know that Drake May is the answer. I don't know if Justin Fields is the answer. But I would like somebody who has that level of talent and is played at a bit higher level. If he works out, great. If he leads the Bears to a playoff spot, awesome. If he leads them to a Super Bowl, wonderful. My fear is that they think they're going to be able to win with an undrafted rookie free agent at the quarterback. That's just such a Bears move to make. Yeah, we're going to go with this undrafted rookie free agent from a D2 school. Only the Bears would do. If you had to pick a franchise in the NFL that would think that was a possibility, it would be I can't even think of another team that would consider it. They just laugh you out of the room. All right, last on my list, best teams in the league against the spread this year so far. 5-2. There are 5 of them. Got Jacksonville, Detroit, Kansas City, Miami, and Baltimore, all 5-2 ATS this year. Which one do you feel the most comfortable betting? Situation doesn't matter, home road doesn't matter. Which team do you feel is the most consistent? Would you feel the safest in betting on out of that group of 5?
For me, that's easy. I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They have an explosive offense. Their defense is performing very well this year. The other ones, it's kind of surprising that they're there. Jacksonville, Detroit, and Baltimore. I wouldn't automatically think that they were 5-2 against the spread.
Detroit has been a truck this year. I mean, they won opening week against Kansas City. I mean, that's one of Kansas City's losses. Was against Detroit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jacksonville's the surprise there that they're so good at ATS. To me, I'd probably agree with Kansas. I'd say Kansas City or Baltimore. I'd feel Kansas City, Baltimore, neutral site. What would you put the line as for that? I'd probably favor Baltimore.
Yeah,
I'd say Baltimore -2.5, -2.
I would probably favor Kansas City.
You go Kansas City minus how many? I would be favoring Baltimore. No, seriously, Mike.
Well, yeah, they looked good beating up the Lions last week, but they've been really spotty so far this year. They've kind of been up and down.
Which team beat the Chiefs again? Week 1?
The Lions.
Thank you. All right. So you ready to roll into the Week 8 picks?
Yes.
Get the stink of Week 7 off us.
Yes.
We've got a real doozy of a matchup on Thursday night. Buccaneers at Bills. Bills -8.5. Over under at 42. The numbers on this one: early betting, 87% of the bets on the spread coming on the Bills, 64% of the bets on the under, and 93% of the money line bets coming in on the Bills. Early money likes the Bills. What does Mark like?
I like the Bills also at -8.5.
Pay the Bills.
I didn't get to see all of the Patriots-Bills game last week, but something tells me the Bills start to figure things out at home this week after losing to the Patriots. I just think they're too talented of a team to lose at home.
Okay. I don't think they're going to lose at home, but that 8.5 number is a bit concerning for me. I don't know that team. I mean, if they can't cover against the Pats, I'm really, the Pats line was at 9.
Yeah.
And they lost outright.
Yeah.
So I don't, Josh Allen is not healthy. I don't know if it's the shoulder. I don't know if it's the elbow. I don't know if it's whatever. I think it's the shoulder is what they're saying it is. Either way, I don't think he can do all the things that they need Josh Allen to do to be special. Defense is really banged up. They're missing Matt Milano, missing a couple other guys. Not that team has gotten old fast. They look old, they look slow, and that's surprising to me because they were, that team was like, young and hungry, like not like a year ago, and now, they're kind of like, a veteran, middle of the pack NFL team, which is weird to me. I'm on the Bucs plus the 8.5. I think the Bucs can play enough defense to keep it close, and I don't trust the Bills' offense at all. Josh Allen, he's turned into a bit of a turnover machine too. I think he's had interceptions in a bunch, and I forget the number of consecutive games. It's not a small number. Well, it's not a small number relative to the number of games played.
Yeah, but he's always liked to throw the ball over.
Either way, I still think he's good for at least one bad turnover against the Bucs. And that Bucs offense, okay, they can't run the ball at all. That's one of the worst. It's one of the worst rushing offenses I've ever seen. However, they can move the ball through the air with Baker and those receivers. I think they can do enough damage through the air to cover that number. I think the back door on this one is wide open. I could see a scenario where the Bills have like a 10-point lead late and give up like a late touchdown or a late field goal, to get the backdoor cover for the Bucs. So that's where I'm playing it. I'm playing the backdoor number here with the plus 8.5. I think it's a bit too beefy.
I like the Bills defense a bit more against the Baker Bucs. Again, yeah, they can't run the ball on the Buccaneers side. My rule of thumb on Thursday nights stick with the home team. So.
How'd that go last week?
Not well. The whole thing didn't go well last week.
Okay, next up on the list, the noon games. No NFL Europe games. Mark gets to sleep in 2 weeks in a row where you get to sleep in. Congratulations!
Thank you.
I know it's a big deal for your Sunday.
That was the only victory I had on Sunday.
Wow.
Was the sleeping in?
Wow. Okay. All right. Eagles at Commanders. Eagles minus 6.5. Over under at 43.5. Early numbers on this one. 73% of the bets ATS coming in the Eagles, 79% of the bets coming in the under, and 57% of the money line bets coming in on the Eagles. Okay, Eagles 4-2-1 ATS so far this year. Commanders, that offense looks awful. They struggled against the Giants. The defense is capable. I think that they can get after the passer, but that offense is bottom 6 offense.
Yeah,
bottom 3.
Yeah, we had high hopes for Sam Howell coming into the season. Granted, I think he only played like one game the year before. Things just haven't worked out for the Commanders. The Eagles, on the other hand, are quarterbacks sneaking their way to victory week in, week out.
The brotherly shove?
Yes.
Okay, it's a much better nickname than the other one, I can't lie.
Yeah. But the Eagles are a complete team on defense and offense. Yeah. I think I'm going to lock this one up at Eagles minus 6.5.
The only fear is that they're coming off the big Sunday night win. It is a road game. I don't know how lit a mediocre Washington. My guess is there'd be quite a few Eagles fans that would travel. So yeah. I don't think it's going to be that hostile. It's not going to be a friendly environment. It's not going to be like you're going into Buffalo in December when the Bills Mafia is diving through tables and pounding beers.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that bad. I'm with you on this one. I think the minus 6. It doesn't concern me that the early bets are coming in the Eagles. I think it's the side you want to be on for this one. I think they cover. I think they cover pretty easily, even though it's on the road. I don't think there's too much analysis to do. Other than the Eagles are really good and the Commanders are really, really poor. Next up, Falcons at Titans. Falcons minus 2.5. Over under at 36.5. Let's take the numbers here. So far in the early bets, 60% of the spread bets coming in the Titans, 86% of the bets coming in the under. This one has actually moved quite a bit. Opened at 38, now it's at 36.5. 64% of the bets on the money line coming in the Falcons. I believe Ryan Tannehill is expected to miss this.
Yeah, so I guess Variable said today that if Tannehill can't go, he'll be playing both.
It's Will Levis and Malik Willis.
Will Levis and Malik Willis.
Yeah, apparently, they split time with the ones in practice early in the week. So it sounds like Ryan Tannehill is not going to be available for this one, at least early in the week, and the line kind of reflects that, I feel. If Ryan Tannehill's out, I'm on the Falcons.
Yeah, I had originally put down the Titans, but hearing this, the other thing to consider is there is an awful lot of trade chatter about Derrick Henry possibly being traded at the trade deadline next week.
Make sure you grab Tajay Spears in your fantasy league.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on the Falcons here. We've seen Malik Willis not play very well at quarterback, and I don't think Will Levis is anything special either. If you don't jump on the under, you should. I think there might be all of like 20 points scored in this game. The Falcons, they can do like just enough, I feel, to cover this and win on the road. They had the big road win last week against the Bucs, and I feel like the Bucs with Baker Mayfield are a better team than the Titans without Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, so I've been fading the Falcons all year long.
Falcons 2-5 ATS. They did get the cover last week. It's up from 1-5. So
yeah.
They could cover. They could cover 2 weeks in a row here.
So I am going to go with the Falcons if they're without Ryan Tannehill. Another thing to note is Bijan Robinson was out last week under mysterious circumstances. Apparently it's a migraine is what I've heard.
Interesting.
Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But it's probably something to keep an eye on whether or not he's going to play.
I'm not going to lie. I did bet several Bijan Robinson props. And I got and I didn't get crushed. I lost a little bit of money, but it didn't. But still, I think he even came out for a couple plays.
Yeah.
I think there was even maybe a carry, and they just if I had known that he was there was a migraine issue, apparently the league is looking into him not being on the injury report. All right, next up, Jets at Giants. Jets -2.5, over under 36.5. Early numbers on this one so far: 51% of the bets ATS coming in on the Jets. 58% of the bets coming in the under, and 67% of the bets on the money line coming in the Jets. So early money favors the Jets. Mark, who do you favor?
I am going with the Giants +2.5.
Okay. I believe Dan Jones is going to be cleared is going to be healthy for this one.
Do we know that? I don't. I'm working under the assumption that Tyrod's starting.
You see, I was working under the assumption that that Dan Jones is going to be healthy. Well, apparently Brian Daboll did not want to commit to Daniel Jones for Week 8 yet. I guess Tyrod got the big win.
I've said this all year. I like Tyrod better than Danny Dimes, Dan Jones. The other thing, the Jets, they're coming off a bye. They barely got a win the week before. But I don't really see. I think Sauce Gardner might still be out with a concussion.
Yeah.
It's something else to take a look at.
Yeah.
But I think Tyrod gives the Giants a spark. The Giants haven't been great all year on offense, and they've kind of slipped by in the wins that they've had. But I think the Giants win this one.
Okay, fair enough. This is gonna be a weird one because it's Jets at Giants. I'd be curious what the crowd split's gonna end up being. I like the Jets a bit. I think it's a better roster. I hate to say. The thing is, my biggest issue with the Giants is that they cannot block. That offensive line is not good. Okay, they looked a bit better against the Commanders this past week, which is odd because the Commanders have a pretty competent defensive line. But I don't think that the Giants can do enough to block to win against a Jets defense that's been standing up in these big. This is like a big spot for them. I feel like the Buffalo games, the Pats, this spot here. I feel like this is where they stand up. So yeah, I'm on the Jets. I'll lay the 3 or the 2.5. Again, it's just really more continuing to kind of fade the Giants than it is anything else. Giants so far this year 2-5 ATS, Jets 4-2 ATS. So that kind of factors into it a bit for me as well. And it's not really a road spot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the Jets. I don't know how they handled the split there for the locker rooms, but I'm sure they have their they have it. Separate where they have their own. So I don't feel like it's going to be that big of an adjustment for the Jets to to play this one. I don't see it as it's on the road, but it really isn't. All right. Texans at Panthers. Texans -3 is the line. 43.5 is the over under. Early numbers on this one. Both these teams, I believe, both of these teams are coming off a bye. 57% of the bets in the spread coming in the Texans, 62% of the bets on the over, and 93% of the money line coming in the Texans. So early money likes the Texans.
Going with the Texans -3. The Texans have looked,
they're 3-3.
Yeah. They've looked better than I think anyone thought they would at the start of the year. C.J. Stroud has definitely looked better than Bryce Young.
It's not saying much.
Well, in terms of comparing rookie quarterbacks, if Bagent gets the opportunity to start, the entire year for the Bears, there might be. We'll see how the battle of the rookie quarterbacks plays out. But yeah, I like the Texans overall. The Panthers have not impressed.
It's still 0-6.
Yeah, they still haven't won a game.
5-1 ATS, 0-6 overall.
Yeah.
Titans 4-2 ATS this year. I'm in the same wavelength. I just think the Texans are just a better team.
Yeah.
That Panthers defense can't stop anybody, and I don't think they're. I think honestly for DFS, I love the Texans this week. C.J. Stroud, give me the Tank Dell, Nico Collins, give me the receivers. So yeah, I'm big on the Texans this week. I think it's a road spot, but it's Carolina. I don't really think there's going to be, they're 0-6. Is anybody that excited to come out and, is the crowd going to be that lit for an 0-6 team? I don't think they are. We'll see.
Yeah.
In lockstep so far on some of these. Okay, here we go. Pats at Dolphins. Dolphins -9.5, over under at 47. Okay, early numbers on this one. 57% of the bets ATS coming in the Pats. This line actually opened at -12.5 for the Dolphins. It's moved down to 9.5. 71% of the bets in the under, and 59% of the money line bets coming in the Dolphins. We saw this earlier in the year with the Dolphins at Pats, and it was actually it's always a close game with these two teams. The Pats know how to defend Tyreek. That's if you're looking for a player prop to fade this week. Fade Tyreek Hill. I hate to say it. It's one where you just kind of like close your eyes and like don't watch the game and just like look at the box score afterwards. It's terrifying to fade Tyreek, but the Pats know how they know how to cover him, where they just keep somebody over the top where you just can't get loose. He's going to get his catches underneath. Their defense is determined not to let him get loose, and as long as they're able to keep them, keep the Dolphins kind of contained. It's a bit beefy to me, especially with the Pats, starting to stand up a little bit. They're a little bit frisky. They only had the big win against the Bills, paid the Bills. Dolphins coming off against the non-conference road loss, getting to go back home where it's comfortable, but still 9.5 points is just too many for this line, I feel. What say you, Mark?
Yeah, I was a little concerned about the 9.5, but I am going with the Dolphins on this one. Well, I was about to say that their win against the Bills was a fluke last week, but the other thing to take into consideration is Josh Allen, turning over the ball.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins rebound over their loss against the Eagles, and I think the Patriots kind of go back to the mediocre Patriots without Tom Brady.
It's fair. I mean, I like this Dolphins team a lot. I think they're going to win outright. I do not think they're going to cover the number. I think we're looking at what's probably going to be closer to say like a 21-17 final, and we are like a 35-17 final.
Yeah, I don't feel great about it, but
it's too big of a number.
Yeah.
Especially since we've already seen these. We've seen these two teams play already this year. This is not the I quit Broncos. This is Patriots. They take themselves seriously. Even though their record isn't great, I don't think they win outright. I would not sprinkle the money line, but I'm definitely on the 9.5. If it gets to 10 or 11, hell yeah, I would jump all over that. Next up, Rams at Cowboys. Cowboys -6, over under at 45. Let's take a look at the early numbers on this one. 68% of the bets ATS coming on the rested Cowboys coming off the bye. 67% in the under, and 77% of the money line bets coming on the Cowboys. That 6 points is a bit beefy, is it not? It's surprising. Like you would think that it would be a bit closer.
Yeah, I don't think it's outrageous.
I don't think it's outrageous, but shouldn't this be like a field goal, like 3.5 game? I mean, why? I don't understand the 6.
I think because they're daring you to take the Cowboys. I think.
You see, I feel this is a dare to take the Rams. It's a weird number for this game. I feel like we've seen. I mean, I guess the Rams are coming off the home loss to the Steelers. Okay, I think the Rams are a better team than they're getting credit for. I mean, so far this year they're what 3-4 straight up. Okay, I thought they'd have a better record than that. 4-2-1 ATS. Cowboys 4-2 ATS. I think the Rams are banged up. Are they? No, there's no. If there was like a Cooper Kupp injury, I'd be like, okay, +6 makes sense. But I guess their running back situation is rough.
Well, consider they did cut their kicker today because he missed a handful of field goals the week prior. So they did sign a new kicker. I don't have his name in front of me just yet.
Let's see who we got here. My bet is pending on who this kicker is.
They did waive Brad Maher today.
Lucas Havrisik.
Yes.
Off Browns practice. All right. Give me the Rams plus the 6. I would almost consider sprinkling the money line. I kind of believe in this Rams team a little bit. I think they're better than their record. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. I mean, aside from the issues they're having at the running back position, but even still, it's like they can find a running back. They signed like 4 of them. I feel like you can find somebody to carry the rock a little bit. But you've got the receiver core is legit. You've got to worry about all 3 of their receivers, and you got Higbee underneath. Okay, Matt Stafford's good enough to get the ball there. I think they can. First off, if it turns into a shootout, they can score with the Cowboys. And second, I think this is probably a field goal game. So give me the +6. I don't. This line makes no sense to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're overreacting to the kicker situation or what.
Vegas and the kicker situation. Oh, this would have been a Brett Maher revenge game.
Yeah.
I guess they must be factoring that into it.
Yeah.
Give me the Rams plus the 6. Sprinkle the money line even. I'm all about it. Jaguars at Steelers. Jags -2.5. What? Over 42. Early numbers on this guy. 54% of the bets coming in on the 5-2 ATS Jags. 5-2 straight up Jags also. 58% of the bets on the over, and 58% of the bets on the Jags money line. My head says Jags. I think my wallet says Steelers. What are you thinking here?
I like the Steelers as a home dog plus the 2.5.
Me too. Again, my initial thought was, I think it was this is a good home spot for the Steelers, is it not? I mean, they haven't been great at home this year, but they lost week 1 in dramatic fashion to the 49ers. Mm-hmm. But since then, they've tightened the ship up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off 2 wins against the Ravens and the Rams. The Ravens was at home.
Rams on the road.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like they're starting to figure things out on offense.
Yeah, a little.
And I think their defense has always performed well. Yeah, give me the Steelers here as a home dog.
I like the Jaguars. I liked them last week against the Saints. I don't like this road spot for them. I think this is going into hostile territory. I don't understand. I understand. I get why they're favored. Screw the. We don't need the points. Give me the Steelers money line. Let's go. The Steelers can, they can run the ball. They can get after the passer. The concern that I have with them is the ability to throw the ball. The Kenny Pickett's the area of concern. I think that defense can do enough against Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. They don't really scare me, the Jags. I feel like the Jaguars are going to Jaguar at some point, where there's going to be like a backbreaking turnover. They've avoided the backbreaking turnover against the Saints.
The Saints defense had 3 turnovers in that game, and Derek Carr couldn't do a thing with it. So, the Jaguars winning was more based on Derek Carr's ineptitude, I think, than anything else. Okay, we got a full slate this week.
Yeah, rolling through it. Vikings at Packers. Packers -1. Over under 42.5. Early bets on this guy. 79% of the bets ATS coming in on the Vikings, 71% of the bets in the under, and 81% of the money line bets coming in on the Vikings. I'm showing this line is flipped a couple times, and I have a feeling it's going to continue to flip. I think Minnesota was favored, and now I'm showing the Packers are favored. So this line has been flip-flopping back and forth. Are you buying into the Vikings?
Yes, I am buying into the Vikings.
And you're selling the Packers in Lambeau?
I don't know if you know this or not, but Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback. He's got the chain to prove it.
I saw the top 10 last night. Yeah.
Jordan Love has not impressed. They've lost. The Packers have lost 3 in a row. The only teams that the Packers have beaten this year are the Bears and the Saints. The bad luck is kind of fallen off the Vikings recently. I think they continue to win. Yeah, give me the Vikings.
Give me the Packers. This is like a must-win for Jordan Love. I feel. I think if he loses 4 games in a row, I think they start to look to make a change. It feels like they're so afraid that they're going to screw up, that they're running this like vanilla offense that doesn't take any chances, tries to dink and dunk its way down the field, and they don't have the running game to really support it. This is a kitchen sink game. I feel like if they don't win this game, their chances at the division are done. Their chances at the division are probably done already. But if they lose to the Vikings at home, this early, they're probably cooked as far as the division goes. So I think they have to throw the kitchen sink at this one. Also, the Vikings are coming off the big win, and now they're going on the road. I still think the Vikings are going to Vikings, especially on the road.
Well, they can't lose every game. And, I'm kind of surprised that the Packers are favored here after the performance that the Vikings did put up last night.
Vegas is telling you who's going to win this game.
Or they're trying to sucker you out of Packer money.
Vegas is telling you who's going to win this game. Give me the Packers. Lay whatever points it is, lay it. But give me the Packers, yeah. We've still got one more game for them. One more game for the noon. So this is a big noon slate. Saints at Colts. I've got Colts -1.5, over under at 43. Early numbers on this one. Jeez, I got to find. 51% of the bets ATS coming into the Saints. The 1-5-1 ATS Saints. You're getting 51% of the bets here. 52% of the bets to the over. Who was running out to bet this over? And 58% of the bets on the money line coming into the Saints. I hate to say this, these early bettors deserve to lose this game. I kind of believe. Colts coming off a tough loss to the Browns last week. Now they get the Saints in a non-conference road spot. Gardner Minshew gets another week as QB1, as he's going to be QB1 for the rest of the season, it seems like. Give me the Colts. I'll lay whatever points it is. Yeah, I'll lay the points. I'm not going to. If you're taking the favorite, you don't need to really sprinkle the money line. I'm showing the over-under is 43.5 points in the over-under for this game. Give me that under. Give me that under all day.
Yeah.
Who is betting that over? What's the case for that over? Wow, it's just like the all-time, like it sets like a scoring record. Like the final is like 63 to 60 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that over-under makes no sense. The line, I think the Colts, I think the Colts are the better team based on what I've seen. I think they're more talented.
Yeah, despite the losses, Gardner Minshew has played well.
Yeah.
I do like the Saints defense. I think their defense has looked good this year. But the problem here is Derek Carr, I think, has looked really, really terrible in spots. And it just seems like they've had an enormous amount of trouble moving the ball down the field.
Also, we've got a bit of a challenge with the Saints this week. Chris Olave.
Oh, yeah. I think he was speeding or something.
Yeah, but even is he? Are they going to play him?
I think it's noteworthy, but I don't. It seems like he was speeding. I don't think they're going to bench him.
Well, they definitely got a distraction.
But yeah, give me the Colts minus the 1.5.
All right, which brings us on to our late afternoon slate. Finally, first game in the late afternoon, we've got Browns at Seahawks. Browns +3, over under 40. The numbers on the early bets on this one. 82% of the bets ATS coming in on the Seahawks, 92% of the bets in the under, and 52% of the money line bets coming in on the Seahawks. Browns big road win against the Colts. Browns and refs big road win against the Colts. Seahawks got the got the win last week against the Cardinals. What do you do here?
For me, it's really easy. I like the Seahawks minus 3. Seahawks at home. I just think they're a better team than the PJ Walker Browns. The Browns defense has looked good so far this year, but if they can't score, then
scored okay last week.
Yeah, but they didn't cover, and they didn't.
They did not cover, but they did win.
Had they made that 2-point conversion, I would have pushed.
All right, on the seats, I got the Seahawks minus 3. I'm doing the John Kerry now. I think. Give me the Browns plus the 3. My thought process is that, again, I don't see how Geno Smith solves that defense.
Oh,
I mean, he's good for like 1 or 2 like horrific turnovers against this defense, is he not?
Maybe 1.
I think at least 2. Geno Smith 2 turnovers, lock it up. Okay, so I think the Browns, that defense will. I don't see the Seahawks being able to move the ball against the defense, and the Browns offense has done enough to win the last 2 weeks. I mean, they had to score points last week, and they did enough against the 49ers to win that game. So forget your PJ Walker hate. Browns plus 3, sprinkle that money line. I mean, I know it's east to west, but I'm not gonna. I don't like the Seahawks team. There's something about them I just don't trust. All right, next on our list, got Ravens at Cardinals. Ravens minus 8.5. Over under at 43.5. Okay. Are the Ravens as good as we thought they were?
They're better than the Cardinals, and that's all that matters.
Are they 8.5 points better?
Yes.
So you're taking the Ravens minus the 8.5?
Yes.
Just better team, better spot.
Better coach.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree. Give me the Cardinals plus the 8.5. You know me in these big spreads. I think the Cardinals find a way to do enough to keep it close.
I'm not sold on the Josh Dobbs Cardinals. If Kyler comes back this year,
okay. If it's Kyler, give me the Ravens minus $1 billion. If Kyler is playing, I will fade the hell out of this Cardinals team. Is he playing?
He was taking first reps with the
changing the pick. I'm sorry.
Well, no, we don't know that he's starting.
I don't care.
They might keep him under wraps indefinitely.
Ravens minus 8.5. Lock it up.
Wow. No, he was taking first team reps last week, and they didn't start him.
I've bailed on the Cardinals because Kyler's in the building. I want no part of anything Kyler Murray is associated with. I'll lay the points in the road. Next up, Bengals at 49ers. 49ers minus 5.5. Over-under is 46. The early bets on this one, 52% of the bets on the spread coming on the 49ers, 82% of the bets to the under, and 58% of the bets on the Bengals money line. Whoa. What are you doing here, Hotshot?
I'm going with the 49ers minus 5.5. I realize I've lost 2 in a row. Bengals are coming off a bye, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think the 49ers get back on track at home. I don't know. Have we gotten much of an update on Joe Burrow's health status? Is he still...
I think he's the same as he was. I mean,
yeah.
I think the calf is going to bother him for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Give me the Bengals plus the 5.5. I think this is a field goal game. I think this is this... Okay, we're kind of at the point of the season where the Bengals start to kick things into gear. We've seen them kind of take like the first month off for like the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like we're heading out of that spot. 49ers did not look great the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns came out and punched them in the mouth, and then they really couldn't get anything going against the Vikings, which this Vikings team is not that special. I mean, the Vikings really don't scare you on the ground, and they don't have what makes them special through the air. So I was kind of surprised that the 49ers struggled as much as they did. There's a lot of dumb penalties with this 49ers team, I've noticed. So yeah, give me the Bengals plus the 5.5. I think they have enough on offense that they can do some damage against a defense that's looked pretty leaky looked leaky against the Vikings. Did not look great against the Browns. They couldn't stop. They couldn't stop P.J. Walker. I'll roll with the Bengals here. I think they can do enough offense. I don't love that Bengals defense, but I think they can stand up against this 49ers offense. I mean, weird spot for them. I kind of like the money line here for the Bengals. I'm not saying I'm not going to bet it. But I'm not saying I'm going to. What? Next up in this massive slate, Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs -7.5, over under at 46. Numbers on this one. What percentage of the bets do you think are coming into the Chiefs in this?
98.
69. 69% of the bets on the spread coming into the Chiefs. 80% of the bets to the over. Good God. And 73% of the bets on the money line coming in on the Chiefs. Is there, again, what's the case for the Broncos here?
There really isn't one. I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to go. I believe Patrick Mahomes is undefeated against the Broncos in his career.
Wow. I mean, that's 7 years.
Yeah.
I don't see a case for the Broncos here. Broncos 1-5-1 ATS. They don't win. They don't cover. What's odd to me is the 80% of the bets in the over. I kind of like the under here. I mean, I feel like even if the Chiefs get out of hand, and they really haven't this year, the Broncos kind of can't score. I mean, they did enough. They did literally enough against the Packers last week. If they'd done any less, they would have lost. If they did any more, it would have been they would have obviously won because they did win outright, which had me salty. Lay the 7.5. Give me the Chiefs. I don't see a path for the Broncos here. I think you're probably going to hear some supposed sharps taking the points here. I don't get it. How does that Broncos team compete against this Chiefs? I mean, you could make the line 12.5, and I'd be taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not higher. Actually,
me too. I don't get this. Next up, Sunday Night Football. The Bears and Secret Bagent 17. Heading into Los Angeles to face the Chargers. I gotta do my pick here. Line is 8.5. Chargers -8.5. Over under at 46. The early numbers on this one: 55% of the bets coming in on the spread are coming for the Bears. This line opened at 10.5 for the Chargers, shrunk to 8.5. 58% of the bets in the over, and 51% of the money line bets on the Bears. Okay, so we've got Tyson Bagent in prime time. What say you, Mark?
The Tyson Bagent era will be solidified Sunday night. Give me the Bears money line.
Okay. The handicap here is that the Chargers are sitting at 2-4. They have not looked great at all this year.
No, going into the season, I thought they would perform better. I think talent-wise, they have a much better team.
See, I don't. I don't. On defense, they've got the two ends, but what else do they have in the defense? I mean, I guess Derwin James, but he's never healthy. And really, nobody else really worries me that much on their defense. No, I mean, and on the offensive side, I hate to say this, that Quentin Johnson's a bust.
Yeah,
he's a bust. I mean, yeah. He's not. He is.
I had him in fantasy and I dropped him.
Oh, he insta-cut.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not. He's cannot get separation at the NFL level. He has not impressed me. I guess Austin Eckler's back. Okay, that's that'll help. But I just I think Mike Williams is still out. I think he's out for the years. They're close to it. Either way, he's out for this game. That's all that matters. Keenan Allen's pretty much all they have in the receiving core. I don't love the Bears, but I think they're if Tyson Bagent is making good decisions, they can cover 8.5 against this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me the resurgent Bears plus the 8.5 on Sunday night. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it's the battle of the bad coaches. Eberflus has never won 2 in a row.
I forgot about the coaching matchup.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus versus Brandon Staley.
Which one's worse? Whoever.
I think Brandon Staley's worse. We've seen Brandon Staley fail harder and a lot more dramatically than we've seen Matt Eberflus fail.
I think Brandon Staley has a more talented team, and he's done more to run that team into the ground than.
I would agree with you based on what I've seen. Yes. Whereas Matt Eberflus is, I think he can't. Oh, I mean, last year we knew what we had in the Bears. Right?
Yeah.
They won 3 games last year, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was 3.
Something like that, yeah.
And I think that's about what we all had them pegged at. So I don't love Matt Eberflus, but I really think Brandon Staley's probably, I think they're probably in the same tier of NFL coaches. Okay, which of them gets fired first?
Oh, Staley.
Okay. I could see this being a thing where they both get let go, at the end of the season.
Yeah, they could.
So I mean, what if Staley gets fired like a day before, or even?
Right. Well, I think the expectations were a bit higher for the Chargers than they were for the Bears.
Agree. When you have Justin Herbert, I think, you have Tyson Bagent. I think the expectations just got a lot higher, right?
Sky high.
No limit. And which leads us to our Monday night matchup. Raiders at Lions. I've got the line on this one. I've got Lions -8. Over under at 45. The early bets on this one. Okay. What percentage of bets do you think are coming in? And which side and what percentage?
I think they're coming on the Lions.
Okay, you got that. Okay, you're 50% correct.
60% on the Lions?
98.
Oh, my God.
98% of the bets ATS coming on the Lions so far. Okay. This line has moved from 7.5 to 8. On the over-under, 74% of bets on the under. Okay, so if 98% of the ATS bets are coming in on the Lions, what's the percentage of money line bets, Mark?
80%?
99.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. 1% of the bets in the money line, 2% of the bets ATS. Are you joining the crowd or are you going to stand out?
Well, knowing that now,
Okay, is Jimmy G going to start for the Raiders this week? Is he moved back?
I think they said last week that he would be on track to play for Monday night.
Okay,
yes.
so the back isn't. So you're going to throw him out there in a road spot against the Lions defense. Okay, I think we're going to see Brian Hoyer by halftime. Is Jimmy G starting? Does that move the needle for you at all?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, they would have a professional quarterback playing.
Brian Hoyer is the definition of a professional quarterback.
He's a professional journeyman quarterback.
He's been a professional quarterback for longer than just about anybody who's been in the league. He's literally the if you look up professional quarterback in the dictionary, picture Brian Hoyer because he's been a quarterback for so long. This is a big bounce back spot for the Lions at home. Their home crowd. They're still 5-2, still in the driver's seat for the division. That home crowd is going to be lit on a Monday night. I can't see Raiders fans traveling to this for this team in particular. I think I hate to say it, when you lose to the Tyson Bagent Bears, this Raiders team has 3 wins. I mean, I guess they got Devontae Adams, they've got Jacobs. I'm trying to make a case to take the Raiders here, and it's a non-conference road spot, coming off a loss where you just lost to an undrafted rookie free agent quarterback from a Division II school. I don't see the case for the Raiders at all here. Is there a chance that the Lions are still shell shocked from last week?
No, I think they bounce back. It wasn't a good game for them against the Ravens. Like them, they're burning the Week 7 film. We're burning the Week 7 film. I think the Lions get back on track at home against. I think
anyone who takes the Raiders is being too cute.
Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised the line isn't higher.
Yeah.
I mean, how many they lost by double digits to the Bears? Did they not?
Mm-hmm.
That means they got to lose to the Lions by 20. I mean, it's a non-conference road spot for the Raiders against the Lions, who are coming off a non-conference road spot in prime time. Jimmy G is probably not 100%. I think back injuries are no joke. Like.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going to end up on it more often than not.
He is officially questionable for the game.
I think he was questionable before the game.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, give me the Lions, lay the points. You're in lockstep on this one?
Yes.
We got to pick locks and dogs for this week. I believe I went first last week.
We burned the film, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first this week?
Sure.
Lock up the Lions at -8. I don't see a case for this Raiders team. I think they've kind of quit. You just got done getting beaten up by this Bears team, and now you're going to face the team leading that division. That is there any position where the Lions are less skilled than the Bears are? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, so make the Lions -8 my lock. My dog, Rams.
Wow.
Rams or Steelers? Yeah. I'll take I'll do the Rams plus the 6. Sprinkle that money line.
I feel bad taking the Chiefs every week as a lock, so I'm going with the Eagles -6.5, and going with the Bears money line as my dog.
That's not bad, actually. You've taken as your dog. I'm going to join you in that money line.
Plus 320 on the money line.
Plus 3. Anything else we need to cover for Week 8? I think we got it. All right. This has been the Locks and Dogs podcast for Week 8 of the NFL season. Check out locksanddogs.com for the latest in gambling picks and news. Hit that subscribe button to get notification for the latest episodes, and please consider leaving us a review. Mark loves his 5-star reviews. Again, he gets the warm feelings, especially when we have a week like Week 7 where we need to read them just to make sure that people are at least entertained by us. But I'd love to hear the feedback. If there's anything you like, anything you hate, please let us know. For Locks and Dogs, this is Matt.
This is Mark.
And we'll see you next week.